My dear people of the once independent state of Southern Cameroons, dear Amazonians, fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement. My name is Comrade John Akuro, and today is the 20th of August 2020. I bring you people revolutionary greetings today. I want us to examine the phenomenon that is gradually gaining root in the Southern Cameroons. A new approach by the government of La République du Cameroun to continue to torment our people. I know they have tried this in Bamenda. They tried to apply it in Boya, but in Kumba, the situation is quite complicated. I'd like our people to know that any time that the government of La République du Cameroun decides to go rogue, we have to devise new methods of standing together with one another in order to overcome the challenges. I'd like us to note, very importantly, that it is in solidarity, it is by continuing to remain together as a bunch that we shall overcome all the onslaughts from the government of La République du Cameroun. I'm sure the people of the city of Kumba must have realized that beginning Tuesday, gendarmes, policemen, and even soldiers have been going around arresting people, market women, mothers, and even young girls and boys, hawking in order to earn a living, arresting them on grounds that they did not open their shops on Monday, but came to open their shops on Tuesday. My dear people, I'd like all and sundry to note that peaceful demonstration are a right. That deciding to stay home in form of protest, observing ghost towns are a fundamental human right, and no one has the right to deny that from us. A good lot of us in the Southern Cameroons, right from the outset of this phase of our liberation movement in 2016, decided that we are going to continue to use all the pacific means possible to let the world know our plight. Despite the fact that the army of La République du Cameroun has unleashed terror, torture, and all forms of dehumanization on us, we have remained resilient, and those in the civil society, like myself, have remained glued to the peaceful means of protest. I know that La République du Cameroun will wish a situation where virtually every Southern Cameroonian picks up arms. But my dear people, we are all witnesses to what is happening. The world increasingly is taking note of the fact that we are a peaceful lot who have continued by peaceful means since 2017, January at least, to observe ghost towns as a clear means of expression of our frustration and disappointment with the system we find ourselves under. How else can we protest if we cannot even have the right to decide to stay indoors on one day to show the world that we are dissatisfied? How else shall we prove to the world our humanist approach, our decision not to fall to the temptation to all pick up arms by observing simply the most peacefully recommended means of protest? How else? My dear people of Kumba, this is a time more than ever before for all of us to remain resilient, for all of us to remain strong. What they are doing is attempting to see if they can force our will against our clear-cut aspiration, which is that of seeking freedom, which is that of ensuring the restoration of the independence of our territory, the Southern Cameroons, which is that of creating and leaving behind a greater future for our children than what we are going through today, than what we inherited. We must keep our eyes focused on this very lofty objective. Despite the odds, I urge each and every one of us in the Southern Cameroons to continue to stand with one another. If they pick up 2-3 people, let everybody shut down. And until they release those people, we don't open. We must not let them subdue us, even when we have continued to use only the most peaceful means possible and highly recommended around the world to show that we, the civilians, are dissatisfied with what is happening. My dear people, I know how painful an experience this is. My dear people, I know how difficult it is to survive in such circumstances. My dear people, I know how great the temptation is to all resort to the kind of violence they want us to turn to so that they take advantage and continue the annihilation program they have started on us. I simply once more implore you, those of us in the civil society who have made it a point that we will continue to communicate with the rest of the world our dissatisfaction, our frustration, our decision to quit this unholy union through ghost towns, through this peaceful means, we must remain glued to it. We must hang on to it because this is how we will overcome. I know we have all seen the new phenomenon. The new phenomenon whereby the government, through apparatchiks who call themselves our elite, are sponsoring the capture and decapitation of our brothers and sisters just because they want to cast a pall on the image of our God-ordained revolution. My dear people, these are very trying and difficult moments. We must, in this kind of circumstances, remain very vigilant. I mean very vigilant, and avoid falling prey to all sorts of practices that would dishonor our movement. October 1 is coming close. And I know that there are already a lot of talks going around regarding October 1. I know that La République du Cameroon is multiplying techniques to see how to break the hearts and minds of the people to avoid a situation where we show the world again our attachment to our ideals of freedom. At the opportune moment, together with other leaders in our liberation movement, we will communicate regarding October 1. My dear people, the ghost towns remain the most peaceful means possible for us to show the world that we of the civil society, that those of us, the civilians, strongly believe in the need for the independence, the outright independence, the restoration of the independence of the once independent state of Southern Cameroons. We must, against all odds, continue to put up this resistance. It definitely was not going to be a walk in the park, this whole movement. We are paying a very high price, but this price is worth it. We must remain glued to the big prize, and the big prize is freedom. Let us remain strong and resilient. I want to congratulate all of you who continue to show solidarity to one another in these very difficult moments. So out there in Kumba, it must continue to remain all for one, one for all. Out there in Bamenda, same thing. Out there in Boya, all for one, one for all. My dear people, all over Southern Cameroons, all over Amazonia, it must continue to remain all for one and one for all. The moments are trying. Let us wise up. Let us stay very awake. Let us keep our eyes wide open and focused on the objective, focused on the big prize. There is a lot of confusion, but we can all continue to rise above this confusion and do what is correct. To God, and to God alone, will definitely be all the glory. My sincere condolences and sympathy to the families of all those who continue to be affected as a result of this movement. There will be a moment of reckoning. To God be the glory. Thank you.